Happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Today is episode 273 of The Daily Dope. It is March 26th, 2019. Yes, it's Tuesday. As far as when this video is going up, I'm actually recording this ahead of time. This is the second show that I have pre-recorded because if you do follow The Daily Dope, you do know that I'm actually house-sitting and watching a menagerie of pets for my brother and sister-in-law because they are off with the kids for spring break. They're out of town, so that's how I'm occupying my time. But I didn't want to go an entire week without new shows, so yesterday, I shared my review of Clutch Baseball, and today I am going to unbox and take a first look at Robotech Crisis Point from SolarFlare Games. This is available for pre-order right now. It is not out in stores just yet, but I am going to be taking a peek at that. It is the second Robotech game from my friends over at SolarFlare Games. So before I jump into that, do want to mention if you like the Gaming Gang, if you dig the Daily Dope, you already know that it's all not for profit. So if you like the website, if you like the show, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, of which I am a huge supporter. Lil Bub's Big Fun actually helps care for special needs animals who are awaiting finding a forever home. So what this means is this fund actually provides grant monies that go out to organizations that care for special needs animals who are awaiting adoption. Now, these animals could be a bit older, like say yours truly. Maybe they've got mobility issues, or maybe they're blind or deaf, or require some sort of medication every day. Just because these animals have, additional needs doesn't mean they're not deserving of a good home and plenty of love. So, if you do like the show, if you like the website, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fun. Also want to point out, if you do make a donation, just shoot me a quick email to my email address below. You don't need to prove it or anything like that. Just let me know you made a donation, and I will give you a special shout out on the following show. All right, so let's jump on into Robotech Crisis Point from SolarFlare Games. It's designed by Dave Killingsworth, with artwork provided by Andorra Sidonia, Andrew Kramer, and Joel Lopez. The game is for 2 players, ages 8 and up, plays in 30 to 50 minutes, is available for pre-order. It's carrying an MSRP of $30. So let's move on over to the other camera. Let's take a look here. So it says, experience the epic conflict between the Robotech Masters and the Army of the Southern Cross in this dynamic head-to-head card game. So of course, this is the second story arc from Harmony Gold's Robotech. The Southern Cross, which, if I remember correctly, because if you're not overly familiar with Robotech, it's actually 3 different animes that were edited and dubbed by Harmony Gold into a long series. Because, of course, at that point in time, when you were trying to syndicate a television show, animated show, you needed to have, if I remember correctly, I think you needed 85 episodes to be able to get in syndication, to sell a syndication deal. So that is what Harmony Gold did. And the second anime, which actually has absolutely nothing to do with the first or the third, is Southern Cross. So it says, the war returns. Following the annihilation of Earth, human survivors struggle to rebuild their once great planet only to be faced with a new threat. The Robotech Masters arrive to complete the mission that the Zentradi Armada began, to reclaim the coveted protoculture by destroying the army of the Southern Cross. You and your opponent deploy your mecha and combat units, battling to gain control of the Earth. Using your dynamic heroes, it says using you dynamic heroes, I assume it's your dynamic heroes, and commands, can you turn the tide of war? Will you save the Earth as the army of the Southern Cross, or will you seize the Earth and recover the secrets of protoculture as the evil Robotech Masters? As I mentioned, 2 players, says 30 to 40 minutes here, ages 14 and up. So the original sell sheet info I had was not correct. So let's open this on up. So we got a couple of baggies floating past us there. Looks like we got a game board. So we got that. So we got a bunch of counters that have already kind of gotten punched a little bit. So let's see what we got. Are these, is this just 1 sheet or 2? Let's find out. Alright, come on. What's going on here? It is 2 sheets. So I'll kind of slip these out from here for right now. Wow, they're all like, wow, they are really well cut because they're just popping right on out. Right, so got the rule book. We've got some cards. Got a few decks of cards. All right, so let's take a look at the rules here. The field manual. So it's we've got strategic locations. You know what? Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So 76 cards, 158 tokens. So we've got Army of the Southern Cross battle tokens, Robotech Master battle tokens, victory tokens, exchange tokens, cluster missile token. So we've got talking about the breakdown of the different cards. So the objective, players are trying to destroy their opponent's forces while successfully defending their own. Players take turns deploying units to the battlefield, utilizing their combat units around the outside of the battlefield to defend their own forces, and destroy those of their enemy. They will then use tokens they have earned along with hero and command cards to win the day. Players earn points by defending units, destroying enemies, and securing strategic locations that collect the most victory points. In the end, the higher point total shall be victorious. It's like underlined, very important, don't forget. So we got the setup, how to play, showing us a layout of the board here. Token phase. Got scoring phase. Got the game components. Talking about the command cards. Strategic location cards. Alright, and glossary of terms and the credits. So one thing I do notice is there's a bit of a return of an icon that I recall from the original Robotech game that SolarFlare Games did. Let's see what we got here. Let's take some of these cards out. So we've got... Oh, I know what this is. I know what the bonus is here. I was wondering, why do we have this deck of cards? It's a promo, I believe, right now, is you actually get a set of a deck of Robotech playing cards. So these are just regular playing cards. They have nothing to do with this game. And I think these are special cards for the first Robotech game. So let me take a look here. Yep, it is. So we've got Roy Foker's been added. The Grand Cannon. See, these are promos. Dataless Counter, Exodor, and Fire the Main Gun! Let's zoom back in. Zoom back in, I'll show these off a little bit. So if you've got the original Robotech game that came out from SolarFlare, then these are some promo cards that are added into this. So that's kind of cool. I enjoyed the first one. It's super fast. It's really light. Very easy to jump into. It takes 5 minutes to teach somebody. So those are the promos. All right, come on, get on in there. Okay, so let's see what we've got with these cards here. Impact Miniatures hits the spot. It's like, oh, so we got some advertising here. Okay. Got some more advertising for Game Trade Magazine. And you want some more advertising? And Role Player. You know, I don't know. See, I'm going off on a tangent. Role Player, I've heard some people who were like, yeah, they really enjoyed it. But then the more they play it, the more the shine kind of comes off of it. The bloom kind of comes off the rose, I heard. But, I mean, it's man versus meeple. I wouldn't care what they say. But Dice Tower, yeah. I mean, Dice Tower's definitely a fan of it. So it looks like we've got some ads on both sides of these cards. That's kind of funny. So I do want to mention that Titan Comics, who I actually share news of every week, as far as Greg, my brother, does the comic stuff. We always share the Titan Comics. They do Robotech, and their free comic book day issue is actually going to be in conjunction with SolarFlare Games. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, so we got command cards. So we got Bombardment. We got Min May's Song. Stop. Read the other side. This is the end of the Crisis Point game deck. The next two cards are Grand Cannon expansion bonus cards. Yeah, we already had that. Are these, I'm going to say, these I think are for the other game too. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so we got locations. So we got different location cards. GMP headquarters, Outpost 7G, Foothold Base, Fokker Field. So quite a few different locations here. Barracks of the 15th. Assault dropships. So now we've got units. Invid Fighter, Bioroid. I always have to say, it's kind of interesting how Harmony Gold was able to tie these three different, completely different animes together. They created the whole proto-culture. So, all right, Searchlight Drone. I turned my nephew Cameron onto Robotech about a year ago, and he was like 16 at the time. He really dug it. I gotta admit, it still holds up. It still holds up. It's still, even though it's from the early 80s, it's still pretty cool. And one of the first things I thought when I first started seeing Robotech, now Robotech was on in syndication in Chicago. I think I was a freshman in high school when it started airing. And one of the first things that I had noticed was, holy cow, characters getting killed in this. You didn't see that. I mean, you saw that like the late 60s, early 70s cartoons, like, say, Johnny Quest back in the day. But by the 80s, you didn't see, the 80s, you're looking at it's all like G.I. Joe and stuff like that. So yeah, that was the first thing. I was like, holy cow. So we got different combat cards. So it looks like there's just one factor on these. Crash City Ship. So, okay, so these are victory points there. I know that. That's probably defense, because that was the same kind of icon in the other Robotech game. All right, now we get to the Southern Cross units. And they've got, some of them have special abilities in that here too. So. Garm Battloid. Janissary APCs. Hover Cycle Squad. Then we got objectives. Flanking, Seek and Destroy. Blitzkrieg. So it looks as if, I'm going to take a wild guess that the actual combat in this is going to be fairly simple, but I'm also going to guess that you're going to have different objectives too, that you may have a secret objective for the game. So it's not going to play out the same exact way every time. Okay, and then we got some heroes. Rolf Emerson, Marie Crystal, Nova Satori, Dana Sterling. Drop behind enemy lines, infiltrates, Counter-Strike, Missile Barrage. We got Battleoid Officer, Gladiator. Another Battleoid here. Another Gladiator. Hover Tank. Another Battleoid, Gladiator, Hover Tank, and United Earth Command. Pretty cool. That's the base. All right, so those are the cards there. These I'm going to put off to the side here. We've got all these cards as well. We got the deck of playing cards. Then we got all these tokens here that are all just popping apart. So we've got some that look like this. And then we've got others that look like these. Just like that. And then I think I saw some other ones in here. Didn't I? No, I guess those are all of those. But we've got a few different ones on here. On this punch board, we've got these two here. And of course, they're all dual-sided. So we've got these. And then we've got these. These are different too. These right here. And then we got these two tokens as well. So we've got all of these different counters, tokens, whatever you want to consider them. We've got all of those. We can just kind of fold this back up. So we've got the different decks of cards. We've got the counters here. They're all popping out. Got the rule book now. Oh, this is supposed to be Dana Sterling. So that's what the notes are in here. They're supposed to be her notes. All right, and then this is the board. So that is one thing with the other Robotech, which is actually Macross. The Macross game did not have a board. This one has a board. Let's zoom back out. Get a better look at the board here. So it's a good-sized board. So it looked like the center here is the battlefield, and then like up here is like where you keep your cards. So I kind of have an impression that this is maybe going to be kind of similar in gameplay to the Macross game that SolarFlare did. Maybe just a little more in depth, possibly. So, all right. So we got that as well. So we got the cards, we got the rules, we got the tokens, we've got the game board, and of course, none of this is going to fit together right now. But I will fix it later on. Make sure to get it straightened out. And that is what we find when we take everything from Robotech Crisis Point outside the box. As I mentioned before, Robotech Crisis Point is from SolarFlare Games. It is available as a pre-order right now, and it does carry an MSRP of $30. That actually also includes the playing cards, the Robotech playing cards, as well as some promo cards for the previous Robotech game that SolarFlare Games did. So pretty cool. I'm going to play this as soon as I possibly can. But seeing that I'm actually house sitting and pet watching right now, probably won't have an opportunity to check it out until this coming weekend. So maybe if I'm lucky, I'll have a review of this in about maybe a week and a half, thereabouts. All right, so that is it for today's show. As I like to point out, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to go visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV, By now, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I will possibly be back on Friday. I am not sure just yet if there will be a Friday live stream or not. Worst case scenario, I will be back on April 1st, which is Monday. So it'll be April Fool's Day with your April Fool right here. So until next time, as always, thank you very much for watching. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.